Hi everyone, this is Tevi, live from Franklin. We're talking about the United States in the 1950s, so we're heading home, moving away from the international conflict that we just wrapped up. So I want to start off with these three photos. Just jot them down if you know who they are or what they represent. So this just reviews, guys, some of the worries that we have. Remember, communism is spreading to Asia, and we're certainly concerned the Soviets now have nuclear capabilities. So panic and fear is spreading. So let's talk about another Red Scare that happens in the Cold War. And so I know this is the week before April vacation, so you guys, to give you a break, we're not doing guided notes. I actually will just post this PowerPoint on Edline for you, and I'll pretty much just follow it. I want you to listen and pay attention. I also want you to listen for your name, because I'll assign each one of you a topic to look up and find a short clip, probably from YouTube, because this is all definitely available and pretty modern. So be ready tomorrow to share your topic. So let's keep going. Alright guys, so a Red Scare should sound familiar. There was one during World War I. And this gets really out of control, because we see communism spreading in Asia, and we also begin to fear that it's spreading within our own country. So we fear this subversion, right? That spies are among us and they're trying to weaken us and infiltrate our society with all these secret plans. So lots of fear. Truman even has this loyalty review program to really check the background of government workers. Really going through it with a fine-tooth comb. Definitely, of course, if you feel like you're being watched, it's going to increase fear as well. So guys, first major thing I'm going to have George look up is the House on Un-American Activities, or the HUAC. So George, you should be able to find clips of some of these public hearings that were done to expose communists. And so George, part of that will be to look up this man, McCarthy. So this era is known as McCarthyism. So this senator, here's one of his quotes to show you he thinks, that the communists are within our government, intense search for disloyalty. So, he would ask, this question got cut off, guys, but it says, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? So that would be something you'd hear during the public hearings. So, George, you got your assignment. Look it up, find some information from the HUAC. A clip from one of the hearings would be great. All right, Harry, you're on. The Hollywood 10, who were they? So the HUAC that George is going to show us also focused their attention on Hollywood, definitely producers and writers that had communist ties. So 10 were brought before this committee. They were all convicted on contempt because they refused to speak. They held the fifth. But they were blacklisted, so you might want to either find us information about this, Harry, or just definitely there could even be a clip of this hearing, or find out who these producers were. So anything like that you can show us tomorrow. So let's keep going. All right, Kelsey, I have you for famous spy cases. So I want you to look up these two famous cases. Alger Hiss, who was a diplomat under Roosevelt. But it was known that this former communist member, Whittaker Chambers, testified that Hiss had given him secret documents. So definitely find us a short clip on Alger Hiss. And then this will be easy to find. Kelsey, the Rosenbergs, famous New York City couple that were communists, part of a Soviet spy ring, accused of selling secrets. They were electrified. They were killed for being guilty of espionage. So definitely show us a short clip of that tomorrow, Kelsey. Alright, so this just is an example of the Red Scare, guys. Better dead than red. And down below it says, the commies are coming. The commies are coming. So today, I yell at my dad for using this derogatory word. But this is when he grew up, and he can't change his ways. But yeah, you wouldn't say this today, guys. But definitely, certainly represents the Red Scare. Alright, Ben, you're up for living with the bomb. So Soviets were testing during this time. They had the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb, both successful. And so fallout shelters, shown here in the middle, were created. And here's some elementary school kids doing the famous duck and cover drill. So Ben, you should be able to find a clip of either one of these two things and share with us tomorrow. All right, Jake, pay attention. Lots going on in science. I don't want you to look everything up. But check it out, everyone, class. And let's look at the space race, Jake. So NASA, is being created in the late 1950s. But I want you to find out for us, Jake, who the first 7 American astronauts were. See if you can find footage of the press conference. And then I definitely want a short clip, Jake, of Sputnik. So the Soviets, here firing that first Earth satellite into space. So increased competition and rivalry. So definitely share that with us tomorrow, Jake. A question I have for all of you guys is, what is this paradox of culture like in the 1950s? Would you describe this era as an era of conservatism, complacency, and contentment? Or would you describe it as a time of anxiety, alienation, and social unrest? So I'll have you defend one of those two positions later on. So the new American dream, guys, check out these photos, right? The new middle-class family here, TV being central for family time. So values, and here just kind of gives you that example of the neighborhoods that begin to crop up, and the rise of the automobile. All right, so Kristen, I want you to check out this new development known as suburbia. So please look up Levittown, and Bill Levitt obviously is the builder that really contributes to this consumerist society, producing these homes on a potato field 10 miles east of New York City. This definitely coincides with the GI Bill, certainly helping our returning soldiers start over. So Levittown is for you, Kristen. Here's just, you might not think this is a big deal, but this blueprint is revolutionary in the 1950s. All right, so Kristen, you're gonna take care of Levittown, and Liv, you're on to the culture of the car. So I kind of gave you some images to think about what kind of clip you could look up. Certainly car registrations increase dramatically. Highways increase dramatically with the Public Works project. 41,000 miles of new highways are built. We take this for granted, but under Eisenhower they dramatically increased. And so, Liv, here's some ideas for you to look up. You can certainly come up with your own. You can show us some clips of the first McDonald's or drive-in movies, but this, showing us this homogenous nation because of the car. And think about all of us, guys. Why did America become more homogeneous? Because of the automobile. All right, Liv, so find something on the car. So baby boom. Miss Kate, I want you to kind of see how you can tie the GI Bill to this, and you should be able to find lots of footage of the baby boom. So the era, guys, is, after World War II, all these soldiers returning and starting over, having families, having children. 65 million babies are born. Dr. Spock wrote this famous book. This is a book my mom used in the 1960s. So, the media is really celebrating not just parenthood and pregnancy, but large families. All right, Kate, so any clip you have of the baby boom or even Dr. Spock would be great. Thanks, Kate. All right, guys, well-defined gender roles. Check out this, guys. The ideal modern woman. Here's a great description. I'll keep my comments to myself. There's Marilyn Monroe, though. She certainly, is iconic during this time. And the 1950s man, seen as, the provider, the protector, the boss. Here's a great photo. So Miss Julie, please, I gave you these two ideas, but come up with another example of an ideal woman of the 1950s and another example of an ideal man from the 1950s. So Julie, you can show us those short clips tomorrow. All right, so let's keep going. Television. Sam, I want you to find a clip of at least one TV show. The TV culture really takes off. Comedies, there's shows about the ideal family. The news and sports becomes now part of TV, and music. So, Sam, you're welcome to find a clip of I Love Lucy. But anything else, any TV show from the 1950s, that's your job. Show us a short clip tomorrow. Thanks, Sam. All right, so let's keep going. Teen culture, guys. The word teenager didn't even appear until the 1950s. Look at this consumerism, guys. They are spending money, and so society is going to be forever changed. So, all All right, that was loud, but that was meant to be obnoxious. So James Dean and Marlon Brando, guys, two actors that really portray this juvenile delinquent, which is really kind of seen as a backlash to this, guys, to these rules. Check out these rules. Obey authority, control your emotions, don't make waves, and don't even think about sex. So very Victorian and almost going back to the puritanical days. So, Miss Caroline, I kind of gave you some ideas with, James Dean and Marlon Brando, but find anything to show us, what teens were doing in the 1950s. There's great stuff on the dating. Caroline, 1950s teen culture. You're on. Rock and roll. All right, Michaela, I think this is for you. Obviously, you can show us a clip of Elvis. This music comes from African American rhythm and blues music. Once this DJ, Alan Free, starts to play it, people just go crazy. And so this rock and roll genre was born. So if you don't like Elvis, Mikhail, there's so many other musicians. Just find a nice clip of song to show us music in the 1950s. All of us should be thinking, how does television change the way rock and roll was perceived? And what do you think? What do you think this is going to do to those parents who are trying to keep the teenagers from thinking about sex? All right, guys. Alex, this is for you. The beat movement, rejecting materialism, consumerism, the military buildup of the Cold War, conformity, right? So really promoting individual freedom, spontaneity. Two main leaders I have here bolded, Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg, pictured here. Here's just a cartoon figure of someone from the beat movement, mostly, writers and artists really exemplifying this values gap, and definitely laid the foundation for more widespread youth cultural rebellion, which we'll see in the 1960s during the Vietnam War. So, Alex, anything either from Jack Kerouac, Ginsberg, whatever you'd like to show to really exemplify this beat movement is your task for tomorrow. All right, guys, this is Tevi signing off. Remember, this PowerPoint is available on Edline under Class PowerPoints. You're welcome to print it out for your notes. And please have a link ready. You can either, put it on Edline or have it embedded into a Word document so it's easy to pull up during class. So, guys, I will see you all tomorrow and have those topics ready to present. Have a great night.